is Tia Ballard.
This is Todd Habercorn.
This is David Vincent.
Hey, this is Sam Whitwer.
This is Phil Lamar.
And you are listening to the Points of Interest.
Points of Interest.
Points of Interest.
And you're listening to Points of Interest Podcast Network.
Keep listening.
Well, hello, and welcome to the Points of Interest podcast, the Points of Interest podcast. My name is Josh Hawks. I am the 303 Ninja, and right over there, he's my podcasting partner for life. He is the other guy, Mr. Francis Fernandez.
Well, it's been a week, hasn't it?
It has been a week.
Another week has passed.
And because I screwed up the beginning part, I didn't say, welcome to the most generic podcast on the internet.
Well, that's our tagline for sure. We need to put that on right under the logo, like that little blurb under the POI, stencil, and then just put the most generic podcast on the internet.
I would like to get it actually as a stencil, and then I could spray it everywhere as like a guerrilla tactic to get recognized.
Yeah, what we need to do is purchase the most generic podcast on the internet.com.
Yeah, because that's not long. That's not hard to type at all.
But then when you look it up on Google, though, because there's only one website called the most generic podcast on the internet, it'll just go to the .com. It's like, oh yeah.
That's true. You do have a point there. You do have a point there. It's funny that you bring that up because it's kind of poignant to something I want to talk about, Francis. But before we get to that, how you been, man?
Okay.
You know, last week it was kind of your show. You know, I basically titled it. It was your show.
Thanks.
As the follow-up, things are still going well, I assume. I haven't gotten any emergency text messages saying that, like, you know, you have a tree growing out of your back or something.
I'm here, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been talking for the last hour and a half too, but, you know, I'm trying to pretend for the audience like, you know, we just caught up.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm recording with you. But yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna. This reminds me, because I mentioned it last week, was like I should probably post about this as an update on how I'm doing on Facebook, because I've been doing that lately. Is just like updating people on my well-being, because since that surgery, like I thought people would be interested to know if I'm okay.
I think
now
so.
It's been a month. It's been about 4 weeks since I got discharged from the hospital, and things are going well. They're still monitoring me. It's still a multi-month process to make sure my kidney doesn't get rejected or anything. So I mean, I'm not really necessarily out of the woods yet, because that stuff happens in the first 3 months. But I'm fine. You know, I'm doing all right. You know, I'm doing well. Still going to doctor's appointments. Still doing whatever. And not to toot my, but I mean, no one else is tooting my horn, so I'm going to do it myself. Actually, no, I take that back. One place is tooting my horn, and I just want to bring it up because I thought it was really funny that they did this. But there's it's the Outstanding Creator Awards website. They review books, like independent authors and stuff, and they reviewed the anthology I did, which I'm now a part of 4 anthologies, right? And the first one, no one really said anything. They're like, it's okay. Second one, they thought it was funny. Okay, fine. A little blurb, like a little half paragraph of like, this was a fun thing. But then, you know, and this is a 2-parter. And my first story, no one mentions my first story. I guess it's just not that good, which is fine. It's okay. I made it too big. But then I made the second book. There's the second anthology that came out with these fairy tales, reimagined fairy tales and stuff, called Once Upon a Twisted Time. And again, I have to, because this never happened to me before. But they like highlighted my story as like the main reason to like get this book. They're like, hey, I'm gonna dedicate like this chunk of like review of of this guy's story, and I want to talk about it. I was like, I've already read other people, like most people other than me get that honor, and I was like really shocked that this person liked my story that much. I was like, oh my god, wow,
That's awesome.
they really liked it. It was very surprising. And I don't remember if the person who reviewed it gave their name. Actually, I don't think they did. I think it's just the website as a whole did. But if you want to go to outstandingcreator.com and then look up Once Upon a Twisted Time, you'll see the review. And I'm just like, I'm just so honored. I'm humbly honored, I guess, even though I'm bragging about it now. But I'm really honored that they like,
rightfully so.
yeah, they like highlighted my story, and a couple of the authors that I'm friends with were like patting me, like congratulating me and like patting me on the back a little bit. I'm like, yeah, because they're these really accomplished authors. They have their own series. They make a living writing, and they're really happy for me that I have one that kind of shined a little bit in this anthology. So I'm like, oh, thanks. It was just really nice. I was really happy about it. So anyway, that's all. I want to mention that. But
As you should.
yeah,
As you should.
Otherwise,
Ginger's here. She's screaming Francis.
Hey, Ginger. Hi. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You weren't here last week, but yeah, I was here last week. So it looks like I'm back. So happy to be back.
Yes. Because the show kind of sucks if it's just myself.
Well, you could do it. I believe in you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know if I totally believe it, but I appreciate it. I gotta believe it myself, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess on that and on the thing you brought up that I said that was so poignant. I believe I've already told you this, but the greater part of the world doesn't know. But this show, this whatever this is this I mean, because podcast as a word is kind of going out of
it's a show.
It's a show. But the show, this entity known as the Points of Interest, has been approved to do media/press for FanX Denver once again.
Yay!
For the 13th year in a row, covering this show under the numerous different names that this show has been.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just realizing now that I've already said this on the Facebook, so this isn't a surprise for you.
Yeah, I
I forgot that I don't post on there very much anymore. But yeah, 13th year of covering this show as a member of the press media team. So since I was riding that wave of endorphins, I was like, well, take your shot, shoot your shot. So I reached out to my contact within FanXpo. I go, hey, contact, I sure did like standing in front of hundreds of people, making a fool out of myself. Like to do it again. And I completely forgot to say, at a Denver, because this guy's, part of a national team.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's a very good connection, Francis.
I was gonna say, does that mean you could potentially do the same thing in other states?
I need to work on that.
All right.
I need to work on it. I never really thought about hey, FanXpo, Kansas or something like that.
No, FanX was everywhere.
Something
FanX
close,
was huge.
So I don't have to fucking.
Hey, no. You need to put your passport to use. Go to Toronto.
Yeah, that is true.
Just go to Toronto
that
already. You haven't been there yet, so
I haven't.
I mean,
but he replied back for Denver. I'm like, oh yeah. In my excitement, I totally forgot to say, from Denver. Yes. He goes, that'd be great. I'd love to use you again. So, don't have anything solid yet, but things are looking good for me to be hosting comic panels again this year. Comic is in comic book artists, writers, colorists, etc., creators. and hopefully none of them will hand me a 10-page script the night before and tell me I have to stick to it. That sucked.
Well,
That sucked.
I just like that he said. I just like that the guy was like, pick the place you want to do it. Like it wasn't like a, it was like Dallas, or I mean, Denver or somewhere else, right? Like it felt like it was like, if you want to do something else, go for it.
I didn't think of it from that angle, Francis, but I might take that angle and run with it, see what happens.
MegaCon, Florida, do that one. That's a big con.
That's a
huge
Expo?
one. It is. It's under the Fan Expo. MegaCon is under the Fan. I'm at the Fan Expo website, and there's Fan Expo Philly. Oh, you need to do Fan Expo Philly.
That would be cool.
There's a Fan Expo Philadelphia, Dallas, VidCon in Anaheim, Denver. Oh, it's in July. Oh, July 4th weekend is Denver, is Fan Expo Denver. Interesting. Okay.
It has
Boston,
been,
Chicago.
It's either been Father's Day weekend or 4th of July weekend, almost all 13 years. In and around.
Right. Yeah, that'd be cool if you can do like an out of state one. That'd be really fun.
That would be pretty fucking cool. I mean, I'm sure they have more than enough people in every state that they don't need that. But if I were to shine, then maybe.
I would love it if you could do Philly, so you can meet up with the crew again.
The Philly crew.
Just to get the reunion. Yeah.
That would be cool.
That would be amazing. Really cool. Yeah.
It would be worth it to be like, I can't take that many on the Saturday, I got to take less on the Saturday, as far as like hosting duties, because I got peoples to see. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I mean, this little rinky-dink little podcast show, whatever.
Whatever.
Over the years, different iterations of it, whatnot. But I'm gonna.
Yes.
You were boasting, so I'm gonna boast a little bit. I have had a presence at every Denver Comic-Con / I forgot what the other names were because there's been so many, but Fan Expo Denver in its various names. I have had a presence there for every single show. And that's something that this thing used to have lots of members, lots of team members, and other people contributing, but it's always been me that got us in there or drove this little show to be there every year. And I'm not a big bragger, but like I'm bragging.
You should. I mean, it's an accomplishment.
There is much more talented people than I doing the same shit we're doing that don't get to go.
Yeah, but you're consistent and you're reliable, and I think, like that stuff counts. And plus, people.
And it helps. I mean, if I didn't get in one door, there's always another.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's why it's good to hobnob, Francis.
It is. You're not wrong. Again, that's like it's not what you know, it's who you know. So that's really it's really what all comes down to. So good thing you know people. But again, it's also because they could pick anyone and they're like, oh, this Josh guy, he's been consistent, reliable, he's been there. He did things he didn't even want to do. Maybe they think that. I don't know. I don't know if they knew. Like
there was a panel I took last year that I had zero time to prepare for because the host didn't show up. And the director called me like, hey, man, I know it's your fucking break time, but can you cover this guy? And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. So I hope it, making those little impressions either did help or I hope it helped.
It did. I think it did. Yeah.
So despite, it's funny because the whole time we were talking about, off the air, what I do for a living, Francis, and, how I assert myself all the time. And then you put me in a geek, spotlight, if you will. And
Yes,
I
yes.
break down because I'm like, oh shit, like I'm driving this whole bus.
Yeah.
I put a lot of pressure on myself. I'm sure I do. And because I get to come back and do it again, I'm sure I did fine.
Yeah.
Right. But if I even stutter at any point, I'm like, ah, shit. I fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like you want to make a good impression. You want to make sure that what you're doing and what you're saying makes an impact, right? Like what you do gets noticed,
Mhm.
right? And that you're not like, because it's easy to be an embarrassment in a place where you're publicly live in front of hundreds of people doing a panel, and it's like I could easily just accidentally say something stupid, and they'll just never bring me back, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So I get it, because it's more your reputation on the line. when
The
it comes to this kind of
reputation that
stuff.
I don't have, but
You
like,
no, but you obviously have one in the sense of where you've done it for 13
yeah,
years.
I mean, I've
So
like,
you have the
yes,
reputation.
Yes. I'm just saying. I've carved a little cove for myself in the geek world in Denver.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you are, because you used to. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we haven't talked about conventions much lately, because I don't think you're going to any recently. But you used to go to every
because
single.
I was going. There were a lot more shows. A lot of shows have died here in Colorado.
Yeah, Starfest is gone.
Starfest is gone. Its replacement, which I don't remember what it was called. Galaxy Fest,
What was?
I believe.
Oh, I thought Galaxy Fest was like the sister. 'cause I remember-
Galacticon is what they called it.
Oh, Galactic.
Galacticon. That has no. It's on indefinite hiatus.
Mhm.
Has no plans to have a second show. So it's the big Denver Fan Expo, Denver Comic Con, whatever you want to call it. It's Fan Expo Denver. But there's a lot of toy shows. There's a lot of card shows. Toy shows I would love to go to. But the thing is that like that's my weakness. Plastic is my weakness, and I don't want to go there and be tempted the whole time I'm there. It's different when you're at a Comic-Con and you're like, "Oh, a toy booth." And I drag you over to it. And I'm like, "Look, Francis, look at all the shit I want to buy and I can't. I'm going to tell you about, and you don't care, and I can't buy any of it." And then it's like, "Oh,
Yeah, that's
we got a job to do," or "Oh, we got this to go look at." But if you go to a toy show, that's all that is there.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's always the toughest part.
And
is
it's either
like,
unaffordable, unattainable, or you're looking at it and you're like, it's affordable, but I kind of need this $70.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
Whatever the price, you know what I'm saying. So I don't go. I try not to go to the toy shows. There's a Retromania, I believe, that's coming up. I believe next weekend. I'm only off for one day of it, so if I'm gonna try and go at least check it out, because it was cool last year. We saw Vanilla Ice last year.
Yeah. Go to a Schaff store, a Schaff show, and go to a comic and non-sports card show.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Non-sports card.
Yeah.
Then pose in front of it.
Just get get yourself a Yu-Gi-Oh card from the.
What I should do is just show up with all my Garbage Pail Kid cards and be like, "What are they worth?" And they'll be like, "What is this?"
No, dude. I bet you anything they would love it. Like there's booths that have that stuff. I've seen booths that have Garbage Pail. I used to have. I wish I knew what I did with them. Must have thrown them away. I used to have Garbage Pail Kids cards. I'm like, yeah.
I have a binder in this closet over here, a small binder, like a half-inch binder, that are all in what are those, like little plastic
Sleeves.
card sleeves?
Yeah.
And then I have a box of memorabilia, just shit I've just kept since I was a kid. You remember back in the day, like Christmas, specifically Christmas as a kid, your grandparents or your parents would get you the big box of Reese's Pieces or Reese's Cups, or in my case, Snickers. And it was a big tin with a flappy clamshell door full of snack-sized Snickers. Well, that's the tin I just put all my little keepsakes in.
Nice. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, because we were in the age of when we used to get physical tickets, Francis, for events.
Oh, what?
I have saved all the physical tickets I have saved for all the events I've ever gone to, and it's gone into that keepsake box.
Okay.
I ran into a website yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Where you can track all the concerts you've been to.
Oh.
And like if they have the information on it, it'll tell you the set list that played that night. If there's any video, which there wouldn't be for fucking a show I went to in 1992, but if there was, there'd be video there. But it's cool. It gave me a graph of how many information. Like I've seen over 100 different artists through, and you have to plug all this data in. You have to look at your ticket stubs or payments that, through Access or whatever, Ticketmaster, in the more digital age. But there's thousands of shows listed for thousands of different artists. I don't remember what it's called. Concert Archive.
I know, yeah.
Concert Archives.
Concert Archive.
Concerts
That's cool.
Archive. It's pretty cool. I plugged some stuff in there. Like I said, it was cool seeing a graph of like you've been to a concert every year since 1992.
Yeah, that's what I do with Letterboxd. Is the one where you can record the movies you've watched.
Okay,
because I'm more of a
movie similar thing.
Yeah, and you put the date that you watched it. You put the date, and you can put a review or whatever, and it compiles all the movies that you've seen over your lifetime. Well, I mean, if you started putting it, like I put old movies that I saw when I was a kid in there. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw this. Yeah, I love those things. I wish they would stop dying. Those lists would stop dying, because I used to have, I had a gamer one too, video, all the games I played over my lifetime. I had a little list. But yeah, it's just, but I like the concert one. That's cool.
Yeah, because I remember like the very first, the first concert I went to as like on my own was, I think it was February of '92, and I just looked up Metallica because that was a concert I went and saw. And you can look up years. So I got my little ticket stub, and I'm like, 92, go down to 92. It was in February. Scroll till you hit February. Oh, look, there it is. An evening with Metallica. No opener. It's exactly what my fucking ticket stub says. That's the show I went to. Click, add. I don't know. I just thought it was pretty cool because seeing, like, there was a show that I went to now 22 years ago, according to this fucking thing. It also tells you how long ago it was, or if it's upcoming, when it is. But I went to this, it was an EDM show 22 years ago, and I couldn't remember who else was on the lineup. I remember the headliner, but when I was on this website, they had it there, and I was like, oh shit, look, those are the other people that were there. I remember this now.
I love that.
So it was cool because, like, I was at Lollapalooza one year, so it lists every artist that was on the card that year at that show. I didn't see every artist, but
what was what was the first concert do you remember what the
first concert I went to on my own was
on your own?
Metallica. I went with a girl that I was super attracted to, and I may even buy her the ticket, possibly. I don't remember, or I fronted. And we went with another friend of ours, And it was like, that was like one of the first times I'd been let out on my own to go do something that I remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
the
a
very
date.
first time I saw anything in a concert, Joan Jett at like Disneyland or some shit.
Oh,
You know, like at
oh,
or like at the
Disneyland.
Knott's Berry
Interesting.
Farm or at a parade or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was just
That'd
like,
be interesting.
okay.
If Joan Jett did that. That's interesting. Okay.
For some, either it was a cover band. I just remember
Oh,
being
I
with I believe my aunt, and yeah, he was either an impersonator, it was Joan Jett, or it was I don't know.
That's cool. Okay.
I don't know where we were. It was in California. That's about all I can tell you.
Oh, sure.
I went to Aerosmith and Jackal, the Lumberjack song.
Okay.
Everybody's heard that song. I remember buying that ticket at a grocery store, like at the
Wow.
in line, not even at customer service. They just had it under the, you put the 100 under the drawer, under the.
Yeah.
So that's where the tickets were.
I remember that. They used to do that. Yeah, grocery stores used to do that kind of stuff. They used to sell tickets to like events.
Yep.
Yeah.
Monster truck concerts. That'd be sweet. A monster truck concert would be fucking rad.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, hard to hear, but
Sure. Yeah, but what were we talking about?
Oh.
Man, I guess speaking of concerts, Francis, I went to a concert this past week.
Sure. Good.
I've seen this artist I think a couple times now, and it always amazes me that somehow this EDM DJ incorporates a half orchestra almost. Maybe it's a quarter orchestra, but violins. What's this thing called? Harp or something?
Oh, harp. Yeah, that's a harp. Yeah.
I know. That's the best pantomiming I've ever seen.
I mean, that's harping. Yeah. That's harping.
And then the other side had, there was a bassoon. How many people you seen playing a bassoon with EDM?
I don't know.
Not many.
I like that
when's
this
the last
guy's
time you saw
accompanying.
anybody playing a bassoon?
Oh, I mean, I go to classical, like video game concerts all the time, and they use classical instruments. I'm sure bassoon was in there somewhere. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so you got a couple horns, saxophones. There was a Kenny G dude up there with his little alto sax and strings, and it was really cool. And it's all incorporated. It doesn't sound like it doesn't fit.
Okay.
It was really cool. It was a really cool experience. And
Very
then
nice.
it's what's weird about EDM shows, as I've noticed over the last 4 years. If the DJ has a guest, rarely do they introduce said guest. They just come out and start singing, rapping, or performing in some
Just
way.
expected to know.
And I'm I knew one of the persons that came out because they're also a DJ, but they're more of a performer than they are a DJ.
Okay.
So this person, they go by the name of Recno. So Recno comes out and singing and performing, and I'm just like, oh, that's Recno. But who are the other two motherfuckers that were out there before them? I don't know. It's just weird.
You never found out? You didn't? You never heard their music before? I'm guessing.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Just some collab,
All right.
as the artists do.
Sure.
But it was nice. We found a seat this time. If you've been keeping up with my concert goings over the last few, we haven't been able to find a seat when we go and have to be huddled under a tree in a planter.
Yeah, but it rained,
box.
so you were fine.
What's that?
It rained, so you were fine.
In that instance, it was perfectly fine to be under a tree. But other times, it sucks when they oversell the venue. It holds almost 10,000 people, and there's almost always like 11 that's there, 10 and a half.
I mean, I forget what country it was in, but at least she didn't do the Lady Gaga thing. Was it 2.1
I try
million
not to
people
ever do
watched her show?
the Lady Gaga thing. I don't know anything about her. She could sing, but I don't know anything about her.
Well, she had two. I think it was either 1.2 or 2.1 million people attend her concert. So you see the stage, and you just the camera pans, and it's just people like at least a mile away, can't see anything, can probably barely hear anything,
Right.
and they're all there to listen to a Lady Gaga concert.
Metallica. Speaking of Metallica, they I want to say it was 89 to 91, somewhere in there. They played in, I
Okay.
think it was still the USSR, in front of 1 million
Okay.
people.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so the shots from that is just like, how do they get that many people in a stadium?
Again, and you're not going to see much if you're the millionth person and you're in the very back.
Right.
I don't know what you're doing. You're just there to, I guess, vibe
I mean,
with everyone else.
when you go to a concert, what is there to see?
You can't hear that far out, though. That's the thing.
I mean, depending on
Like,
the
unless they have
players.
speakers
Yeah.
built back there.
Right,
Yeah.
but even then, it's gonna be super delayed.
Yeah, it's like what? So I don't know. It's
It
weird.
was free, so the
but-
world showed up. Yeah.
Oh, it was free. Okay. Well, that's a different story.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know where I was going off with that. But as a result
I don't know.
of going
Yes.
to this thing, the aftermath is glitter is everywhere. It's in every orifice of my body. It's in every fold of everything on my bed and everything in my car. I don't know if someone threw a bottle of glitter into the air during the evening, but covered in glitter.
Worst
like I went
invention
to
ever
a
is the
strip
glitter.
club.
Yeah, worst invention ever. Why did they make glitter?
I have no idea.
Why is that a thing?
No idea.
You have you have bragging rights. You were there. That's what Ginger's saying.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what bragging rights we're talking about, but
I don't. I thought it was in response to what you were saying.
but yeah, I guess the point was just EDM and orchestra stuff works out really well. It's really cool.
Yeah, I figured, it's nice to have a live element to it because really, it's more or less, I mean, it's mixing pre-recorded music, but you're not creating anything on the spot. Like, I mean, you are in a sense you're creating something on the spot, but you're not creating like you are if you have a band or an orchestra with you. Then you're creating. You're really creating on the spot.
Turning sheet music,
Yeah,
that
exactly.
he helped compose.
So,
which is
well, there you go.
That's just cool because it's like, okay, you're not just a DJ, you're a composer.
Yes.
You sat down and wrote these notes or you had someone help you or whatever. But the point is that like he was up there fucking, doing the finger movements, and he actually had a drumstick that he was using as I don't know what that tool is used for.
It's a baton.
Okay, so as a baton, because he was using it like a small little drum pad that he was banging. So there was some live element to his own stuff as well. But
no, very nice.
Yeah, it was cool. A couple saxophone solos or spotlights, a whole lot of trumpet spotlights, live singing, chanting, Halo-like. It was just cool stuff. Oh, and was it the guy before? A couple of guys before, they had like circus performers or something.
Well, I mean,
There's like a trapeze,
again,
and they were people, and this dude that was possibly the strongest dude alive was holding a girl by her ankle with one hand, upside down.
I mean, yeah, you need that the theatrics, because again, you're just kind of standing there
That is
and
true.
you're lifting, you're whatever, you're doing the hand thing and like, but you're not doing much. So you need the theatrics. You need something that keeps people's attention.
One of the openers was sweating his balls off. And I'm like, I wonder what drugs he's on, because he's barely moving and it ain't hot. It's kind of chilly.
He's nervous. I sweat when I'm really super nervous.
Yeah, I mean, he sweat through his shirt, so I mean, like, he was sweating.
Okay, not that much. Not that much. No. That's yeah. He's on something for sure.
Probably, yeah. Which is, crazy. It's crazy. You go to a concert, an outdoor venue that says everywhere, don't smoke here. No smoking is allowed inside the place. And you go inside the place, and everybody has a little vape box, whether to smoke their tobaccos or their wacky tobaccos.
Technically, it's water vapor, so it's not smoking.
But, Francis, I'm the one that gets pulled over like TSA for a secondary screening, as they said, because my knee brace made the metal detector go off. But all these other motherfuckers get to go in without getting fingered before they go and enjoy their music.
Oh, really? Oh. I like that you call the security of the concert TSA.
No, it's just, they take everything out of your pockets. We're going to, wand you.
I was going to say, if they wanted, they should have wand your leg.
I was like,
So
I've got a huge knee brace on that's full of metal. They scanned my knee. They're like, oh, yeah, you're right. I was like, I know. I didn't bring it
still
last
gotta
time
poke
I
your
was
butt
here.
anyway.
My knee blew up like a fucking balloon.
Ugh. Fun.
No, it wasn't.
No, I know. Yeah.
And when you're leaving, you're going down a dirt trail that has like steps dug into it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm trying, it was chilly that night last time we went, so I'm trying to start the car remotely to get the heater going before we get there. Don't see one of the steps and fall down one of the little, it's not a step, it's just, a little cutout. But when you miss a step going down and you end up eating your sternum.
Yeah.
I did that, but I also ate my kneecap as well. That was fun.
Ugh.
And then my knee immediately was like, hey, look at me. Blow up like a balloon.
Ow. That sounds awful.
It wasn't great.
Yeah.
So I kind of blew through all my stuff I want to talk about.
Oh, really? Oh, that's so funny. Okay. Well, because I was going to say, in regards, I guess I'll contribute to the concert talk because I don't, I've never, actually, I don't want to go to the concert stuff quite yet. I want to say that you and security are you guys don't mesh well.
Okay, so it does seem to be that way, Francis, which is funny because that's the kind of the industry that I'm in now. But
right, for
the people that haven't been here, let's go back to the faraway time of, what was it, 2017?
Maybe
17 and 18, or 16 and 17? Either way.
Either way, yeah.
Either
Close
way.
enough.
We're there at good old WonderCon, having a wonderful time on our carpeted floors and their costumes. And
You always bring up the carpeted floor.
it's so nice, Francis. And across the street from WonderCon is the Mouse's Haven with his
downtown Disney. Yeah.
So instead of paying $9,000 to go hang out with the mouse in his castle, we go to the ghetto version of it, the downtown Disney. That's not dead. It's not ghetto, but
I was gonna say it's a pretty fancy place.
It's pretty fancy. It's basically. I think you told me it was Disneyland without the rides. It was basically all the shops and restaurants.
Yeah.
Which, why is there a Sephora inside of Disney? I will never know.
I don't know.
But where was I going with all this?
Well, security.
So we're right across the street from the place. So let's go right across the street. I hear about these corn dogs. Let's go get a corn dog.
Yeah.
Now, I had paraphernalia in my pockets.
Paraphernalia.
Because I'm in
It's
California,
so much worse than it is.
and nobody cares.
Yeah.
about smoking weed in California. Everybody does it. So we go through the security. The first time, Francis. Go through the security, and they're like, "Hey, you're beeping. What's in your pockets?" And I take everything out of my pockets nonchalantly to kind of try to cover up my little vape pens.
All right, yeah.
Good cop doesn't care. Bad cop's like, "Hey, this isn't tobacco." I'm like, "Sure it is." He's like, No, it's not." So they have to. There's Francis standing on the other side of security, clean as a whistle, turning red because he's getting embarrassed because he has a season pass. And his guest, not necessarily his guest, but the person he's with is getting jacked up by security. So they take my weed. And then the next year,
That's right. They did.
I go, "Hey, let's not go back to the hotel first. I'm hungry. I remember them corn dogs. Let's go get one."
Yeah.
So we take all my recording equipment that we use to do our press media thing at these things. So I have microphones and camera gear and all kinds of shit. Disney security doesn't like any of that. They think we're going to go in there and like film a movie or something.
Yeah, I didn't know what they were expecting. Like, what did they think was going to happen?
And unfortunately, even in instances when I should just shut the fuck up, if you say something stupid, I'm going to call you out. And the stupid thing they said to me was, "You're not allowed to bring professional recording equipment into Disney parks." And I pulled my phone out and I said, "This is recording equipment." And my camera had a microphone attached to it. I said, "This is professional recording equipment." They didn't. I don't think they didn't like that answer, that question.
That didn't quite sit well with them. No.
So again, there's Francis on the other side of security, clean as a whistle, turning red again. And they're not letting me past. This time they're not letting me past.
So weird. They really made a big deal out of it.
They called their supervisor over. Keeping in mind, we still have our press badges on from the event.
That's
75
right.
feet
That's right.
across the street.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have to verbally make a promise to the mouse that I will not open my backpack while I'm inside enjoying my corn dog.
Right.
And then I got made fun of by what's that guy's name?
Steve Aoki.
Steve Aoki. I'm fucking positive it was him. And then we got a corn dog, and I'm eating my corn dog. And all I can feel is the mouse watching me and his minions. There might have even been the actual fucking minions. I just didn't see them. Watching me and watching my backpack.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the second time. Great corn dog. Not a fun experience. Will I learn my lesson? Fuck no.
I don't think you have to. That's the beauty of it. Is that you don't have to, because people bring that kind of stuff in there all the time. I don't. Again, it's so weird that they gave you such a hassle this time around. But I guess they just needed. They had to let off some steam on somebody. They're like, "Oh, you're the one. You're like the random, like at TSA, like at actual airports, they do the random checks.
Mm-hmm.
They just pick a random person. You just happen to pull that card, and you were the random check.
Yep.
Like, oh well, yeah, we're gonna have to detain you. But
I actually had been jacked up by TSA.
Really? Why?
Leaving one of the times you dropped me off at LAX. So I think
Yes,
the one time, maybe twice.
I at least I think I did at least that twice. Yeah,
twice. We left in a hurry. We were leaving a little late, and I didn't disconnect my microphones from the cables. I wound them up and threw them in the luggage. There was a carry-on, I believe. So I go to TSA. I was still pre-check before I had pre-check.
Yeah.
So, and we went to a dispensary, and I purchased
We did.
a syringe of oil. It didn't have a needle. It's just a holding device to load it into something. I always have to clarify that. So I just threw that in my bag because I knew I was flying out of LAX, who specifically came out and told everybody that they don't give a shit about weed. Fly with it. We don't care.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm going to Colorado, who doesn't have that standpoint, but really doesn't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Luckily. Yeah.
So my bag is going through the x-ray machine, and my camera bag pops out first. And I'm like, oh, there's my shit. Let me grab it. I'm wearing my shoes and everything else. Where's my carry-on? That's worrying. And then I see my carry-on being picked up by a TSA agent and carefully led to another table. Is this yours? I'm like, now's your chance to say no and just walk away. And let go of all that equipment and clothes.
God, so much equipment, so much money. Yeah.
And content. I don't even know if I ever put out all of it, but either way. I'm like, yeah, what's up? And they're like, we just need to look at it further. Don't cross that line. Just stand right there. I'm like, oh, okay. I start looking around using my excellent peripheral visions, and I see other agents start to, as I say in my job now, close the circle. And I'm like, uh-oh. They found the weed. That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
Then they start fingering everything and doing the bomb residue shit.
Yeah.
And they pick up the microphone, and I see it's still connected to the cable. And I knew what happened, but they explained it to me. It went through the x-ray machine. All they saw were cables going into something metallic, and it terminated into something that was so dense the x-ray wasn't penetrating it. The foam.
Oh, the foam.
It wasn't that dense, but it was dense enough that it was concerning to them because they just saw cables going into something dense. And so there I am explaining everything. Like, that's a microphone. That's a lapel mic. That's a microphone for the device you're holding in your other hand. Oh, you just threw it on the ground. Huh? Wish you didn't do that. That's a microphone. Those are microphone cables. They're all connected. Oh. Sorry. Left in a hurry. And then they just walked away. They're like, you can tidy all this up? I'm like, I guess so. Let me just repack my entire bag for you.
That's the tough part about like technology that people aren't just familiar with. They apparently when the iPad came out, the year the iPad came out, anyone who had one was stopped by TSA because they didn't know what it was. They're like, what the hell is this thing with the screen? Like, what does it do? You know, they were so confused. They stopped everyone who had it. Apparently, that first year, they just stopped people who had an iPad because they've never seen it before. So, like, yeah, people are just, what are you going to do? But people are scared of that kind of stuff.
I went through a body x-ray with a Snickers in my pocket. They didn't care about that at all. But,
what does a Snickers look like, though?
They're probably like, look at that guy's got a big old dookie in his stomach he needs to get rid of.
Well, okay, yeah. It's not metallic, so they're not going to care.
Yeah.
You can't kill someone with a Snickers bar.
That's what I mean.
Hit him hard enough.
I am the 303 Ninja, and Ninja can take you out with just about anything.
That's true.
If you cork the end of a straw with your thumb, you could jab it into somebody's neck.
Oh, jeez. You're not supposed to say that kind of thing. Oh, man.
But
that's
now that I'm pre-check, nobody cares about anything.
No, I love it.
And my lady's pre-check now.
Okay, she went to out of the country, didn't she?
No. I mean, she took a little getaway to Florida. this weekend.
Oh, I thought you went to Greece or something like that.
That's coming up as well.
Oh,
That's the one I'm kind of hoping like somebody in the family is like, hey, why don't we bring Josh?
Well, there you go. Oh yeah.
And then I go, I've got a new passport. Why not?
Greece
Let's
is
go.
beautiful from what I've heard.
That's what I've heard
Greece
as
is,
well. I'd really like to check it out, and it would be a lot of fun to go on an adventure with my adventure buddy.
I love that you have every other name for her.
I mean, she's my girlfriend. I call her my girlfriend, but I mean,
Yeah, you don't. I know you do sometimes, but then you just call her like weird stuff. It's like, oh, my concert friend, or whatever.
you know, it's but that's what she also is.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah, don't they always say you should marry your best friend?
Sure.
I ain't trying. Neither one of us are really interested in the marriage part. We're definitely interested in spending a lot of time with each other.
Hey, that's all that matters, man. It all matters. You don't need to. You don't need to get the government involved. Just
Exactly.
just keep it between you guys. It's all good.
That's the way to do it. That's
Unless, I don't know if you have this, but like if you're like in California and you live together for 10 years, you get common law marriage.
let me tell you how it works here, my friend.
Oh, how does it work there?
It's pretty awesome. It can happen really fast too.
Jeez.
18 months living together.
Mm-hmm.
Share a bank account. Introduce each other as such.
Oh.
In your common law.
Oh.
Yeah. Pretty quick.
Oh, okay.
Pretty quick, pretty easy. So technically, I was common law once because the ex-girlfriend and I, we lived together. We had a bank account. And if people introduced us as Mr. and Mrs. Hawks, we didn't say no to it.
That's interesting. I mean, that's nice. At least
It didn't
that
happen
she was
that
willing
often. I'm just saying, like we
play
met,
along.
we met
Yeah.
all the criteria at different points in the relationship.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But there you go.
yeah, it doesn't take much. Doesn't take much, but
No.
no need for all that quite yet.
Well, I just found out though, because I was looking it up. Apparently, California does no longer recognize common law marriage. I guess they stopped. They did for a while. Now they're like, no, you actually have to get a marriage license and all that stuff.
You have to go do it because when you guys split up and want to get a divorce, we get no cut out of it. If you're common law,
Exactly.
it doesn't affect your fucking tax, your credit, your credit score. Why does divorce have anything to do with your credit? What does divorce have to do with paying your bills?
No, credit score is like the biggest scam ever. Whatever. It's just a scam. Even though I somebody recently, one of the banks that I'm a part of recently told me I have a perfect. Apparently, my FICO credit score is 850. Like I'm at perfect.
What does that
score
mean
right now?
The fuck does that mean? 850.
So 850 is the max you can get. And now I can buy.
Why is 850 the max? Why isn't?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that? Who landed on that number? What is the math?
But at least now I can get approved for any type of loan I want. Approved for any.
I mean, you could refinance the car pretty quick, I bet then. If you might not even need it with your fucking perfect credit score.
No. It's weird. No, once I pay it off though, it's gonna go down to like 300. You know, because that's how they do.
Yeah, if you pay shit off too early, that's negative. How is that negative by paying shit off too early? And quote unquote what the fuck is too early?
Not paying interest. You're not giving money to that company, so they're punishing you because you're not giving them interest money. Yeah, thanks.
I just needed a loan for the upfront. Here's all the money back.
Yeah. They're like,
I just needed you to float this fucking, $500,000 for the weekend. I got it right here. I won it all at Vegas.
They hate you for it.
That's dumb. That's dumb.
Don't do
Well,
it,
so do
folks.
department stores are the same thing, though. Like, they don't want you to go and get yourself a Mervin's card and then pay it off right away. They want you to. I just picked that out of my ass, dude. I don't know.
I like it. I like that it's Mervin's. I just like that. It's like, oh yeah, Mervin's. Oh, Sears. Oh, you get your Sears credit card.
Yeah. The Craftsman does Craftsman even exist? And where do you get your
Sears doesn't
Craftsman?
even exist.
Huh?
Sears doesn't even exist.
So yeah, that's where you
No,
got your
Craftsman.
Craftsman tools. Was at the Sears. So where do you get your Craftsman
I'm
stuff?
yeah.
You have to wait for the guy with the truck to show up to your work site.
You have to go to craftsman.com.
Oh, lame. That's not as much fun.
Oh,
Go ahead.
not Lowe's. The Lowe's has it. Lowe's owns Craftsman now.
Oh,
No longer Sears. Lowe's. So there you go.
well, that's still not going to be as much fun as walking through Sears, through the department store area of Sears, like the clothing area, with this
yeah.
a bag full of fucked up tools that you have to go all the way in the basement of whatever Sears you're going to get to the tool department.
Ours was right by the lingerie department, so you had to walk through lingerie to get to
Even
tools.
better. Even better.
It's like, what? Just surrounded by bras, and then all of a sudden, power tools.
Well,
Like, oh yeah, makes sense.
yeah. I mean, depending on the freak. So I remember going with my best friend, taking a 6-foot level. It wasn't a level anymore. It was a triangle basically, and
Sure.
the guy was like, "What happened? Oh, a truck ran over it. Oh, okay, grab another one."
Oh, nice. Oh, they had the kind of return policy. That's great.
Craftsman has a lifetime, no questions asked at the time, and then early
I
mid
doubt.
90s.
Yeah, I doubt that still. Yeah, I doubt that still exists.
It doesn't matter what was broken. You just show up. The shit's broken. They try and use it. Yep, broken. Get another one.
God, when they actually cared about the customer.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was a
The good old
long time
days.
ago, Francis.
yeah.
It's probably a
20
lot
years
of
ago.
tools later.
Not 30 years ago. I refuse to say it's 30 years ago, but 20 years ago, when it was 1990.
Yes. Or we can, I think it's in Pennsylvania. We can go to the Time Rift Arcade and pretend that it's the mid 80s, early 90s again.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's nice. Disney. Speaking of Disney, we were talking about Disney, but Disneyland had the when Tron Legacy, I think it was, came out. They had Flynn's Arcade in Disneyland, so that was really
Oh.
cool because So they turned up a portion of the unused Disneyland into an 80s arcade, and so you just went to the 80s, and it was a Flynn's the back.
Hey, did you walk through a
It was just an 80s
storefront?
arcade that you got to. Yeah, well, it was a like a pop up storefront. It wasn't like a
Okay.
yeah. It was like a set.
It
Like,
was,
like a
it wasn't
set,
one of the,
yeah.
the they weren't using like the facade and the little interior of a facade.
No, they didn't build. They built like a cardboard cutout, sort of. Right?
Okay.
It was a little cutout thing. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then you went to this room, and the room itself was like really well done. And they had the old arcade games there. And you play for a quarter. Like, that's fun.
Man, that's cool.
Even though I
At
paid
least it was a
$180
quarter
the
and
other
not a token.
It was a quarter. No, they took real money. They didn't take tokens. They took real money.
That's always
But
cool.
yeah, that was really cool.
Not that it really matters. I mean, you put $1 in, you get 4 quarters. You put $1 in, you get 4 tokens. Same shit.
Usually, yeah. Not always, but usually.
I mean, like the arcade games are only supposed to be played for like a minute and a half tops to get your money. For the people to get their money out of it.
No, unless you're my favorite thing about that, and they didn't do it this. I think because again, it's a thing that has been long forgotten. But when you're playing like a fighting game or something, and you were next, you put the quarter right on the the little ridge
Yep.
where the screen was, and you put it on the ridge to let them know you're next.
Yep, and you
Have a
always put it
quarter
on the
there.
2-player side, right? In a row from
Yeah,
you
well,
know.
if
Well, for us,
when
anyway.
when when Killer Instinct came out, there was a line on both sides, so you put the quarter on both sides.
Oh, but see, like winner always stays.
Yeah, well, you don't know who's going to be winner.
Well, yeah, that's why you
You
just
don't know who's
line up.
gonna be
You
winner in
line them
that
up on front of player two, and then whoever. If you are player two and you beat
maybe you're right.
player one, you move over.
I think you're right. I think that's how.
That's how we always did it.
I think you're right.
But it was your placeholder, your quarter, your pog, fucking cigarette butt. One dude brought one of the Monopoly pieces. I don't remember which one it was. Like
Really?
the horsey. I think it was the horsey, the polo guy. That signified you were next. And like we would do that with Virtua Fighter 3 when it first came out.
Sure, yeah.
And we would hog the machine all night. And if someone came up, especially like a little kid, like it didn't matter. You finish the game you're on, and then you let the kid play by himself.
Yeah.
And then when he's done, he's had his fill. He's like, okay, now it's our machine again. See you later, kid.
I love that. There was honor in because no one cut in line or anything. There was honor in just putting the quarter in there, and people honored the system because all the quarters look the same. But you knew that was your quarter. You were next. People just honored that system.
When we would do it, mostly, I mean, there were definitely certain arcades where you had, you put your place in, and that was your quarter that you played with. The arcade that we played a lot at, and when I say we, me and my video game friends at the time, was at a Sega-owned arcade, and they would do $10 Tuesday. $10 gets you in the door for a 3.5 hour free play session. So you're not paying anything. You just hit start and start playing the game. But again, we would still bring our placeholders, so we at least knew who was next. Because you'd crowd around the machine. You didn't, stand in a single file line waiting to play. You're trying to see what was going on, trying to get some strategy. Now, honor amongst arcade stuff, lost traditions.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sad that the arcade has died for this part. I mean,
it's
there's
dead.
Dave &
It's
Buster's.
been dead for 20 years. They just, like places like not Red and Jerry's. What's that place called? Dave & Buster.
Even Dave & Buster's, yeah.
They have everything at a Dave & Buster's, a ticket grabbing, money grabbing game. And then in the corner, in the dusty ass corner of Dave & Buster, they have Missile Command, Miss Pac-Man, and Galaga. And they don't work that well, but they're over there and they're at least running. But we have a couple retro arcades here called
that's good. Okay.
Called One Up. I think it might be a national thing, but it's definitely
It is. I know One Up. Yeah.
So it's a bar arcade, but like the One Up. One of them is all retro gaming, all old 70s and 80s games. And then I think they have a place called Two Up, which might be a different company, but it's all contemporary arcades. Like either way, that's awesome. I'm not there for the drinking. I'm there to play some pinball and karate champ.
Yeah, there's a couple of I like those. I like that those exist. There's some in Vegas. There's some in LA that I've been to that are really nice. I mean, really nice. And they just have the old retro.
Yeah, we went to a Sega. You and I went to a Sega arcade bar restaurant in Seattle.
Probably. I don't know. Oh, maybe.
It was mostly Sega games anyway. GameWorks.
I just remember.
GameWorks is what it was called.
Oh yeah, GameWorks. Yeah, GameWorks. Yeah.
But I remember it being a lot of Sega stuff in there.
Yeah. GameWorks gone.
Of course. I'm glad I didn't buy any of those. Keep those cards, I guess.
No, you should. It's a card. It's now a souvenir.
I guess, but that's the thing I hated about arcades the most was the money card.
Yeah.
That took the fun out of playing because maybe the game did cost $1.75 to play, but it was different because it was $1.75, not 400 points. Like, I don't know if I'm getting my money's worth in a card.
But that's how they get you.
Yeah.
That's how they get you. They want you to not know because then you'll spend more than you think.
Mm-hmm.
Then you learn the conversion rate. It's like, because I eventually, like, some places are pretty blatant with their conversion rate. Like we have the round one, which is the Japan import
We have
arcade.
a couple. I think one or two of those.
Yeah. So that one, at least that's an arcade that's alive. And I love. But yeah, they use a point system, and I figured out their point system. I figured out, like, oh, okay, four credits is $1. Okay, right. So they at least, it's like, okay, I get their system.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I
it's
like
a good trick. I'm all for it.
I like that spot you just talked about because that was one of the very first times I had seen Japanese Street Fighter cabinets.
Yeah. I'd
never seen them.
They
before.
have.
I'd seen it. Well, I guess I'd seen one or two at like an anime convention, but never a bank.
Oh, sure.
And face to face, type of situation. I'm like, wow, that's like, so the guy sitting across from me is playing. That's who I'm playing against. That's fucking rad.
Yeah. And then there's like for a while they had a Tekken like a tournament booth, so they had the arcades back to back in a row, but then there was one machine by itself, and you couldn't play on it. What you did was you're able to watch the different tournaments that were happening right then and there, like all the matchups, and so you could see the matchups as they were happening. So it's more like a viewing thing. I'm like, cool. Oh, that's cool.
That's really cool. But again, that's a ticket grabbing place. You got to be careful when you go there.
There's half of it. Half of it is ticket grabbing, but they do have a lot of arcade games there. Yeah. I mean, I give them credit for that. But it's also bowling
I've only
and
been
karaoke.
one time, and I was there to bowl, not to arcade. But
yeah, and then they have they have pool there. They have a bunch of different things, which is what I like about it. It's like they don't stick to one thing. They have everything there, which is very Japanese.
Well, I mean,
actually,
you would know better than I would.
We're going, man.
Next year. I went in that lucid dream I had a few weeks ago, but
2026 is our year. We'll go to Japan together.
That'd be rad. That would be rad.
Yeah,
we can do a podcast from a capsule hotel.
16. It's a 16-hour difference, so
I know. I'm just saying. It didn't have to be live. I'm just saying, it would be.
I was gonna say, if we did it live on Twitch, it'd be 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Would it be 10 a.m.? Yes, it would be 10 a.m.
Yeah, right around there. Yeah. That would be fun. But it was that dream I had, man, it was crazy. Like, okay, I was there.
You will be. You're manifesting, as they say, as the as the new age ladies say, you're manifesting.
Yes, as they do say. I think that's it for this week then. We filled up the extra half, 20, 30, almost 30 minutes that I was like, shit, I don't know what to talk about. That's good. We're on point, Francis. A couple weeks off is all we needed to refresh and
when have we not been on point?
That is true.
Come on.
Because you got to holler at your boys.
Yeah.
We have to do that again. I can't wait to do that again, actually. But anyway, Francis, that LinkedIn thing that you have all your shit on, I might need some help with that.
Oh, you mean my link tree?
What did I say?
LinkedIn, which is the job site.
Well,
I have
whatever,
a Linktree.
but the fucking place where you have all your stuff, I might need some help.
Yeah, Linktree. Go to it. Go to my Linktree. Linktree.com/aka. One place, one-stop shopping. You can go get both volumes of the book where, again, I got a nice little review of my story in book 2. Go check it out. And my other books as well. The other 2 anthologies you can get there, as well as a link to this show. So yeah, check it out.
That's something I need to work on because I am going to be at Fan Expo in an official capacity. And I think it would probably serve me well to
Make a card.
make a card that has some QR codes on it, maybe, that has links to all the different places that you can check out this podcast at. Which I have now all the links on a notepad.
Oh,
all
good.
the places to like Deezer and Amazon Music and what's the place that Spotify? What's the other one? Apple. All those. We're on all of those places. It's just hard as shit to find it, but I found them all. So you can contact me. But I'm gonna have a link. What? Link tree?
A link tree.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a link tree soon. So, it'll be easier. But in the meantime, here's a list of different places you can find me. 303_ninja on the Twitters. 303 Ninja on the Instagram. You can call, text voicemail at 314-764-7631. That thing spells out POI Pod1 because that was nifty. Email us at thepoipodcast@gmail.com. Come back here next Tuesday. We'll be live doing this wacky shit again. It'll be fun. Francis is back. Everybody's happy. The song's ending. We'll be back. You got anything else to say, Francis?
No, you're the one that comes with the funny phrase at the end. Thank you, Ginger,
I
by
don't
the
know
way.
what to say because, damn it, I didn't think about anything. But the song's over. We're out of here. Bye.